just want to come with.
Of course.
Okay, I'll try it. So, I'm Fred Gallo, retiring principal from Lynn Tech. And I want to take this moment, first of all, to thank all my former students. The amount that you have taught me, the amount that, just the experiences that we had. And I just hope that I've been able to have a positive influence on some of you, which I know I have. I've heard from some of you, but I am just encouraged to hear the stories of success. Our current students, continue the strong work ethic that you have, continue growing, and remember, you will always, always learn. Families, thank you for entrusting us with your students. It's been a pleasure and honor to really serve the students of Lynn. And finally, I want to recognize the staff, both those that were here back in 1989 and started with them to those of you who are here now. I couldn't do this job without you, without your support, without working together as a team. I do thank you, and I wish you all well as you continue the good work that's happening at Lynn Tech. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Elainy Mata-Morel, and I am here with...
I'm Fred Gallo. I'm retiring principal from Lynn Tech.
So congratulations, Principal Gallo, for your entire tenure here at Lynn Tech. I first want to start off by asking you who and what inspired you to get into education in the first place?
Well, my inspiration came from really two places, and they didn't mean to be inspiring. My first was my high school graduation. I'm getting ready to go off to college, become an engineer. And one of my youth workers came up to me after the ceremony and shook my hand and said, "Fred, you have a real talent with young people. Don't waste it."
Mm-hmm.
I ignored him. I'm going off to be an engineer. What does that have to do with the young people? And so go to engineering school. Sophomore year, I'm sitting there with some of my friends and I'm like, nope, engineering's not for me. So I started picking just a bunch of different classes. I was short one class, and one of my other, who's still a good friend to this day, told me, "Fred, you probably make a good teacher." Education 101. Next thing you know, here I am.
So what about Education 101 drove you to continue that path?
I think it gave me that the thought of that possibility. When I went into the class and I really saw what an educator could be, is where I really got that motivation that this was a career. It was a career that was going to keep me in touch with people, and as well as the sciences, which is the one of the reasons I was going into engineering.
So you've graduated college, you spent your whole college career getting your education degree, and then you got your master's in school counseling. After you've gotten everything, was Lynn Tech your first stop?
Well, very interestingly, when I graduated from my bachelor's degree, I tried to find a job in education, and it was a tough year for teachers. So I ended up working at Dollar Rent-A-Car and for about a month till I realized that was really not challenging. So I gave my notice there and did a little bit of substitute teaching. In November, I saw a little article in one of the newspapers that said, bilingual teacher wanted. Called, applied, and was Lynn Tech.
Okay, so your first full-time job was here at Lynn Tech.
My full educational career was here at Lynn Tech.
Wow. So can you take me back to the first time you walked in through these doors and what that felt like for you?
So I remember my first day I walked in was actually November 20, 1989. And I was given a rank book and told where my room was, which those of you who know Lynn Tech was in the back of the IT shop. It was literally a converted closet.
Wow.
I was going to be the bilingual teacher for the school. I had 12 students. The only reason I had 12 students is because we could only fit 12 desks in that area.
Wow.
And as I stared at them, they stared back, and very quickly knew that this was a position that I would love.
And how long did you spend as a bilingual teacher?
So I was 5 years as a bilingual teacher. And interestingly enough, I would always say, I'm only here at this tech school until I find something better. And 36 years later, I believe I found something better, which is retiring from the school.
So you spent 5 years as a bilingual teacher, and then you later became a physics teacher, which was your original background or your love for the sciences. And what pivoted you to want to make that change?
Well, I always wanted to be a physics teacher. I mean, that's what I trained for. That was my passion. I love physics. I still love physics. And when that opportunity opened in the school, that's really when I realized I was going to be here a while because
Mm.
I'd grown to love the place. I've grown to love the students and just really what opportunities the vocational school gave to the students, and to be able to teach the subject I love was just really added to that. So I became the physics teacher here and did that for 5 years as well.
So what inspired you to go from a physics teacher to the guidance counselor? Because those are two different positions, those are two different goals. What pivoted you to that?
So early on in my career, I did get my school leadership degree, a master degree in school leadership, because one of my goals was to become a school administrator.
Mm.
So as I was in the classroom, the opportunity came up to be a guidance counselor. Partly which was it is an administrative role within the school. I'm not sure I understood exactly what a counselor was, um, but as some of you know, it is. I spent 16 years there because I really fell in love with the position. It is a type of position where you get to deal with all aspects of the school,
Mhm.
from students to parents to teachers to administrators. So it gives you that full view of the school and being able to really grow professionally through that, as well as felt like making a difference with the students that would come through and seeing their successes. It was has been a real strong part of my growth.
So because of your experience as a guidance counselor, was it automatic that you wanted, like in your head, that you wanted to be VP, or was it a surprise when it did come up?
So I wanted to be principal.
Period. That was the
That
goal.
was my goal. My goal was to be principal, and throughout my career, what I did was learn the position. So what I felt is after being a school counselor for the 16 years, I did apply to become an assistant principal, and that just to continue my growth, and it was just a really rewarding time, during those 5 years, at, as preparation as well as for this role as principal.
What was the culture like here? Like the students, the culture, and has, I mean, it's different now, but what was it like stepping into that role? And as now we went from guidance counselor to VP, what was it like here?
It was always seen as an alternative to your college prep, an alternative to some of these well-paying jobs, even though in vocational ed there are many opportunities for well-paying jobs. But it has really transitioned into now being really one of the most popular, not just even most popular, but most desirable places to get your education is at the vocational technical schools.
Mhm.
So that's been the transition we see where now students want to come here, so much so that most vocational schools in the state have long waiting lists of students that want to come in
Mhm.
because they see those choices and opportunities that they do get.
So when you became VP, was that one of the like initiatives that you were heading towards? Is just creating the create having Lynn Tech be the desired place for students to come to instead of this backup?
It started earlier than that. So and again, throughout my career, I was always involved in the administrative level, and the schools really started transforming in the mid 2000s.
Mm.
And from there it was a long process, um that is we started working through, and everybody knows that COVID is kind of a defining point in education,
Yeah.
which right after that moment is when I did become principal.
And what was that transition like, especially immediately after COVID, where it was such a pivotal moment in education with remote learning and figuring out how to do that? What was that like for you?
I felt it was a great opportunity because it was such a defining point. It allowed me to come in and really set direction and vision for the school, in a direction of, I wanted to see vocational education become really central
Mhm.
in what we do. Lynn has three major high schools now. We have some other schools as well, but I wanted us to be unique in what we offered, where we offered the students the choices of being able to graduate from here and go straight into their trade, while at the same time preparing them for any post-secondary education they want.
Mhm.
But we worked on the admission policy to make sure it focused on students' desire for learning the trades, because we're the only school in the district that offers that opportunity.
I think you naturally did a nice segue into your time at Tech. So it's your first day as principal. Well, I think we already talked about that. And we talked about your goals for yourself, the school, and the culture. What year was the most challenging for you as principal?
The most challenge is really the first year. And I think it's because as much as you think you realize how little you know throughout that year.
Mm.
Um, so a big part of it was understanding, what teams could I build to help support me, or which administrators and teachers could work in different areas to help support the work. Because the most important thing this job has is really your support network of your staff.
So, do you mind naming out who has been the most supportive to you during this time here as principal?
I prefer not to, because there's just so many people that have had an influence in in my career and throughout this journey, that, like, sometimes what people consider small is really not small when you look at the big picture.
Mm.
I've always said this isn't a job for one person, because if one person tried to do this full job, they would not be successful. But it's a job for one person who can really lead a group of people to be able to find, so that the school can be successful and have a good, strong vision and direction.
So you've seen Lynn Tech evolve throughout your 36 years, and you yourself as Fred Gallo, what are you the most excited about when it comes to Lynn Tech and its continued evolving path?
I think the fact that we keep opening new programs. Every new program is another opportunity, is opportunity for more students to be part of this school. So within my tenure so far, I've opened up two programs,
Mhm.
and we're in the process of opening up a third one, which will be uh, given to my successor. So, we're excited about that. The programs are flourishing. Um, we we have twice as many applicants as spaces. So just to see that students and families do want to be here is very rewarding and very satisfying.
Is there anything you'll miss from this building?
Other than everything, um, it, it's going to be difficult to leave. Being here as my whole career, people think retirement is exciting, and I don't. It is exciting, but I, I'm I've been playing my walking out those doors in my mind,
Mm.
I frequently, and just wondering what it's going to feel like. And I think until I do it, I will have no idea how I'm going to react to it.
When did you know that this year was going to be the year that you were going to leave the reins to the next chapter of people?
I'm not sure I have an answer to that. I think it kind of came, as I looked at my career, as I looked at, where we were. I found that I found us in a good place. I feel the school's in a good place of growth right now.
Mhm.
And I've always felt best to leave when people want, rather than leave when they're glad you've left.
And aside from opening two main vocational programs and on the verge of a third, what are you the most proud about?
I'm the most proud that people want to come to the school. that we've developed a culture, that we've developed a system that is desirable, and that comes because teachers feel they belong. Our teachers want to stay. Our administrators work as a team. There's just so many aspects that make this place the place it is, and that's really what I'm proud about. You know, that people want to be here.
So you're about to, I mean, you say you don't know what it's going to feel like when you walk out of those doors yet until that day comes, but is there any last words that you would like to say to this population here at Lynn Tech before you leave? We don't know when we'll see you again. Maybe we'll see you next year as a surprise. Who knows? But what would you like to say to the community that you have helped serve for so long and has helped support you?
Keep moving forward. This school has tons of potential left, and it would make me happy to read about how this school continues to grow, continues to be that place where people want to go, continues to train students for their careers, for their colleges. That's what would bring me joy.
Thank you so much for watching this interview with Principal Gallo. We'll see you next time. My name is Elainy Mata-Morel.